Hi there, I'm Jesse from Miro, and in this video, we're going to cover how Miro Flows and Miro Sidekicks can help you to accelerate research projects. If you're not familiar with Miro Flows gives you the ability to chain together and templatize multi-step workflows directly on the canvas that are powered by AI. With Miro Flows, we are truly bringing AI into your team's flow of work, meaning that you're not having to break out and go to separate point solutions to collaborate with AI. AI can actually collaborate with you in your context on the canvas. Let's take a look at this in action. Now, this all starts with a pre-made template, helping me save a ton of time as I kick off this flow. Now, this is just an example, and everything that you're seeing today can be fully catered and customized to how you and your teams work, ensuring that you're able to adhere to best practices and save your team's time as you kick off these projects. All that I have to do to use this flow is actually hit Use Template, and it's instantly going to be built out for us. Great. And now that our template's been added to the board, I can see here that this is to help me accelerate research synthesis by leveraging Miro AI and Miro Flows. For this template, I'm going to take these 5 inputs, and Miro Flows is then going to use those inputs and generate these 6 meaningful outputs for us, saving us a ton of time and helping allow us to spend more time in actual customer conversations, not doing manual artifact creation or synthesis. Let's take a look. Great. So if I zoom out, I can see the multi-step workflow has been deployed leveraging the template, and I've already brought in those key inputs. I've used an embedded Google Doc with our product requirements document. I brought in some sticky notes from a brainstorm on our research goals. I've brought in a document on company context. I've brought in some competitive landscape and our actual company branding. And now Miro Flows is going to take all of those inputs and actually use that as the input to execute the downstream flow. First, it's going to build us a prototype that we can then start to get feedback on for the product that's been outlined in the PRD. It's then going to use that prototype and generate some social media images that we can get feedback on. It'll then generate a research goals document, a participant journey map, actual user research questions, and then eventually actually do research synthesis for us here. And with the on-format prompting, you can actually add a prompt on top of the Miro format that will then take those inputs, execute the prompt, and generate the output in the artifact below, which can obviously be then used as the input for the next artifact. But with Miro Flows and on-format prompting, we also give you the ability to select the AI model of your choosing to execute that task. You can also connect the flow to company knowledge bases, pulling in rich company context from things like Amazon Q, Gemini Enterprise, Microsoft Copilot. Or you can even have the Miro Flow search the web, again, helping you to bring AI into where your team is working and almost collaborating with AI versus doing it in silos and then coming back together. Now let's take a look at this flow in action. All that I have to do is go over here to the first step of the flow, hit run, and you'll see that in the top right-hand corner, we're kicking off an 8-step flow. Let's come back when all of this has been generated. Great. So I can now see that 7 out of 8 steps of our flow have been completed. We have a multi-screen prototype here that's fully editable and dynamic. We can go in and preview it with users to actually get feedback on the prototype. The flow generated 3 product images for us to get feedback on in terms of social media assets. We have a research overview document. We have an editable diagram with the research participant flow, a table with user research questions. And then I've even brought in some example call transcripts here of interviews, and all of that is flowing through into our slide deck here that's actually going to generate a research synthesis for us, taking all of these artifacts that we just created as inputs for that slide deck. Now, I can also use another AI feature called Miro Sidekicks to help us with further synthesis. And in this case, we can actually use our UX research sidekick to help us even further. Sidekicks are able to access all of the content on the board, and because they've been trained to execute tasks with a specific persona in mind, they can be super helpful to bring in a second set of eyes and collaborate with you on a project like a research synthesis project. So in this case here, you can see I can highlight those call transcripts that I pulled in, and I can actually select the user research questions, and I can select the research goals document, and now you can see that 26 objects have been selected. I can then go in and ask it to synthesize actual insights for us here as a document. And while the Miro Flow is running, I can simply hit run, and the sidekick is then going to come in, review the content that I've given it access to, and it's going to help us to accelerate that research synthesis alongside the Miro Flow. Let's come back when this has been completed. Great. So we can see our slide deck's been completed, and the UX research sidekick has come and joined us on the board. It's creating a document for us that's synthesizing insights from the key documents I gave it access to. I can continue to iterate with it in the side panel if I want to. I'm actually going to add this to the canvas. Now, one of the other really cool parts about Miro Flows, you can iterate on artifacts mid-flow and then rerun the flow from that stage to then update everything downstream. So in this case, I can actually take this document that the Sidekick generated. I can then input that into the slide deck. I can then hit rerun on this slide deck, and it's then going to recreate that slide deck for us, not changing anything else that's been created so far, but incorporating that Sidekick generated research synthesis because we felt like it was important to include in our research readout slide deck. And after about 30 seconds, we can now see that our slide deck has been updated to reflect the new documentation that we've added in. So if we zoom back out here just to wrap up, what you can see is that we just took 4 or 5 key inputs that are rooted in our company context. And thanks to Miro Flows and this flow template, we were able to use those inputs and generate all of this rich content, artifacts, and synthesis, saving us a ton of time if we were to be going through this research project ourselves. And again, one of the best things about Flows is that it's super collaborative. You and your team can come in here and work on Flows together. You can see the prompt use, the input leverage, the artifact that was created. Your teams have all of the context as you actually go through this project together. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this quick video. I hope this was a helpful overview of Flows. Feel free to give Flows a try for yourself or book a demo with a member of our team so we can show you in more detail. Thanks so much.